see me set.
Recently, I happened to be sitting next to Hugh Jackman at this.
Wow. All right, here we go.
So.
Wow.
I didn't know what other awkward thing I could talk about, but to be like, am I gonna see you soon? I don't know. And but he said a couple things to me, and I'll just leave it at that, because I feel like otherwise I'm gonna get into trouble with somebody. But
you just lit things like
I know. So think about that.
What are you doing?
No, but he, I asked him, because I kept thinking, I was like, he said whether or not that was Logan was supposed to be the last Wolverine thing or whatever, and it's, he said to me what I think he publicly said out there, which was like he's been thinking about it, and he it's on his mind. So I don't know. He may be.
Oh, Sebastian. Oh.
I think Sebastian. I think phone's off, please. Please, can you rewind the last 15 seconds?
Right?
Twitter just broke. Way to go. Awesome. Well, let's keep that going. So Justice League. How about you guys fight the Justice League? Maybe we could do.
Who is that?
Yeah, exactly. Rewind the last 35 seconds. Record over that. This just in. Sebastian Stan says X-Men versus Avengers and Justice League. What is that? Okay, awesome. You mentioned the camaraderie on the set and working with the same people over a period of time. I got to be on a couple of the sets with you guys over the years, and it seems like everyone really genuinely enjoys each other's company. For you, is there a friendship for any of you, a friendship or a connection or a mentor that you found through the Marvel movies that you would point to as being especially important to you?
Sure. I mean, I guess it's kind of it's real low-hanging fruit to say Downey. I mean, he's been he's such a wonderful guy and so talented and so experienced and so supportive, and he's always been in my corner. I've always felt supported by him, and he really brings everybody in to the group and makes sure everyone feels welcome, and especially on this last one. I always try to, no matter what it feels like for me, I try to imagine what it feels like for him, because he really did start this, and he really is so irreplaceable. Nobody can ever be Iron Man. That's not... Nobody, it's not a role like a Superman or a Batman that can kind of find different incarnations. No one can touch it. No one can. And I wonder what that feels like, to kind of come to the end of the road. And I think he must be going through a whole cocktail of emotions.
And I look to my right and I see Tom Holland and...
That might be the only problem on that movie.
Are we done? All right. Are we? Thank you. I see Tom Holland and Dave Bautista. Scream for that guy, not Tom Holland. I see the two of them over in the corner, and Tom is literally the size of Dave's leg, right? So I don't know what they're talking about. But Batista jumps up and does like a kick punch move.
Superman punch. He's teaching him how to do
And I was like, yo, you're about to kill him. What are you doing? So I run over. I'm like, what's going on? And then you see Tom try to do it, and it's like, And it's just, there were so many different moments like that on set where you see people just do stuff where you step out of it and you're like it's like you're a voyeur in a way. Like you're a spectator. So things like that are a lot of fun. Like things with Chris over in the corner doing stuff.
That day was really fun.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Avengers Infinity War. So much news is coming out. Recently at Ace Comic Con in Arizona, I believe it was, I played a video clip beforehand, which was pretty long, but it's just to give context for this actual video. So recently comments were made by Chris Hemsworth saying he wanted a Thor and Wolverine movie to happen in the future, and he said the following: I mean Wolverine just because I love the character, you know what I mean. Said Hemsworth. when asked by Screen Rant which Fox character he'd like to appear alongside. I just love Hugh Jackman. Unfortunately, he died in the last movie, didn't he? We can bring him back to life. Now that you've informed me that it's a possibility, I'm going to get on the phone and try to coast him over and convince him to see if he has one more in him. This is possible due to the fact that Logan is set in the future, and the comic book lore is no one really dies. So as everyone knows, the Disney is trying to buy Fox. I know everyone's saying it's a done deal, but it's not, because the government are investigating it because it will cause a monopoly with Walt Disney owning everything. So that's going to take 12 months to 16 months to go through, and by that, Avengers 4 would have already come out, so it's not possible for that to go through. So in the clip I played before, I will link the whole video down below in the description. It's 40 minutes long. You hear Sebastian Stan also talk about Hugh Jackman. Recently, I happened to be sitting next to Hugh Jackman. I didn't know what other awkward thing I could talk about to be like. Am I going to see you soon? He said a couple of things to me, and I'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble with somebody. And what's funny is, like, always people like Mark Ruffalo, they're always saying the line, "I'll get into trouble." So it's like saying that this is a publicity stunt, or they're trying to hoax him in. So it's kind of interesting. I asked him, he thought, because I was thinking whether or not Logan was supposed to be the last Wolverine thing or whatever. He said to me he's been thinking about it and it's been on his mind, so I don't know, he may be. So the fact that Hugh Jackman recently said he wouldn't do it, and every interview gets asked that he wouldn't do it, tells the audience that something's really going to happen. Going by the comments and also what Chris Hemsworth said, it sounds like they're either trying to convince him or there's something happened behind the scenes that we're not allowed to know. Obviously, Kevin Feige might be trying to work something out, but until it goes through properly, nothing can happen. So Logan's send-off in the Logan movie, in my opinion, was one of the greatest comic book moments ever. And the problem with bringing this character back it might discredit his performance in that whole movie, but seeing as there's time travel involved, and it was based in the future where all the X-Men were basically dead except for like the new mutants, I guess you could say, it wouldn't cost much continuity issues. So is it possible? It's very possible, as long as the deal goes through. The only way they could involve any Fox property inside Avengers 3 or 4, Avengers 4 is most likely going to be titled Secret Wars. That's why they don't want to release the title just yet. We've already got the yellow suit, the yellow Wolverine suit, they could add a post-credit scene that gives a massive hint to Wolverine coming to a movie. So also at the same Comic-Con, Chris Evans reflected on working with Robert Downey Jr. during his appearance at Ace Comic-Con. He also said, unlike Superman and Batman that we've had multiple people playing, there can only be one Iron Man, which is kind of cute. No matter what it feels like for me, I try to imagine what it feels like for him, because really it started with him. He's so irreplaceable, nobody can become Iron Man, which I truly believe is true. It's not a role like Superman and Batman and you have different versions and well, in theory they could have different versions from the multiverse, but that's not really a Marvel thing. But it's kind of cute, Chris Evans saying that Robert Downey Jr. can be the only Iron Man, seeing as they've had so much beef together in Civil War. They're going to have more beef together if our theories are correct in Avengers 3 and 4. But ultimately, something major is going to happen which will change everything forever. As we know, Chris Evans' contract is currently over with Marvel after Avengers 4. They've officially finished wrapping up the movie. So I don't know if we'll actually ever see Captain America ever again, but we most likely will. So Anthony Mackie, I believe that's how you say it, was also at the same Comic-Con in Arizona, Phoenix, I think it was, and he was asked some questions, and he said he was describing a scene with over 40 Avengers were on the set, and he shared an event where Spider-Man and Drax were laughing and stuff, and he basically described that Drax gave him a Superman punch. Now this sounds to me like they were describing the Wakanda scene that we see right at the end of the trailer where everyone's running, you got Black Widow, you got Chris Evans rocking that beard, and it just sounds like the Spider-Man bit is referring to the bit where Thanos rock bottoms or punches Spider-Man out. I think most likely they'll be on that scene, because beforehand they said, what are we allowed to say? Then they realised the trailers dropped, so they're allowed to talk about it. So it's very interesting how they were describing all the different kind of scenes. Like I said, I will leave everything down below. It's a 45-minute clip, I believe, so I didn't want to put too much clip, but I just added some of the clip for continuity. Now, this doesn't mean it's not confirmed, but some people will say Wolverine's coming. It's not confirmed Wolverine's coming, because all this information does count on the fact that the Fox deal goes through and the government okay it and don't think they're going to create too much of a monopoly. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. Do you want Wolverine in the MCU? If Wolverine does come to the MCU, that means Deadpool can come over, we can get Doomsday, we can get Fantastic Four, we can literally get so many cool things, because I think Marvel, if Marvel produced a Fantastic Four movie, it would be much better than what Fox did, in my opinion. Fox are really good at X-Men and Deadpool type of movies, but kind of Fantastic Four, no. So anyway, guys, please like, subscribe and comment. That would be awesome. Let me know what kind of videos you want down below. I've had a couple of ideas from people that I will be making over the next couple of days. There's going to be so much news coming out for Infinity War. There's even like new DC news coming out, Black Panther news, because that's coming out on Valentine's Day, which is coming up soon. Anyway, guys, join that Team Warstu notification squad and we will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.